Making careless mistakes will strip you of all the hard work and hours spent studying, because every mistake you make reduces your grade from perfection. And to achieve academic perfection, it's all about mistake minimizing. What's up guys, Melvin Fung here, graduated with a perfect IB45, where a 45 means absolute perfection without any mistakes. And in order to achieve such a grade, I had to do everything in my ability to prevent making careless mistakes. And so today I'll be teaching you exactly how to avoid making careless mistakes on the exam. Firstly, you make careless mistakes because you write the exam way too fast. Such as when doing math or regurgitating content, you get overconfident, excited, or nervous and start writing really quickly, which causes you to become careless and thus making careless mistakes. This is because when writing fast, your mind-muscle connection weakens, causing you to write the wrong number, miscalculate, or remember the wrong concept. I used to speed through the exam as well, thinking it was cool to finish the exam faster than everyone else. But when the grades returned, I was bombarded with X's and careless mistakes, preventing me from getting that 7. Even though I knew every answer to that test. The exam is not a race. You do not get extra points or finishing the exam faster than everyone else. So if you ever catch yourself writing through the exam too fast or notice your heart beating really quickly, then drop your pen or pencil and sit back and take a couple deep breaths for 10 seconds. This will help you relax, will help you slow down, and afterwards, you can jump back to writing your exam. But sacrificing those 10 seconds will save you from writing fast and hence making a lot of careless mistakes. I used to do this on almost every exam when I catch myself writing way too fast. So a quick recap, writing fast causes careless mistakes, and therefore you must write slow. And if you ever notice yourself writing fast, then make sure to drop everything, sit back, and take a couple deep breaths for 10 seconds. This will slow you down. Quick pause, if you guys are currently in the IB and want to achieve IB45 or perfect guaranteed 7s, then I can help you achieve that. I have just helped 40 of my students achieve the dream IB grades, get into the dream universities such as LSE, and achieve 7s in subjects that they never once knew they could achieve in. An example is my student JE over here, where she averaged only 5s throughout the 2 years of her IB. After some private tutoring and my program, IB45 Accelerator, I was able to help her achieve an IB7 for English A. That was her first 7 throughout the 2 years, and that was in her final exam. So if that is something that you want to achieve, guaranteeing a perfect 7 for your predicted grades, for your school test, and for the final IB exam, then make sure to check out the link down in the description below and join IB45 Accelerator, which is my program that will help you get your dream grades. Next up is doing more past papers. Doing past papers allows you to find out which questions and concepts you tend to make careless mistakes in, giving you a heads up on the actual exam. Become mindful and not make the same mistake again once you see a similar question. Failing to maximize past papers will increase your chances of making careless mistakes once you see a new question with new concepts. When doing past papers, I used to make careless mistakes with exponent calculations, such as when solving long exponent equations, I used to miscalculate the numbers. For example, for 2 to the power of 0, when writing fast, I would write 2 instead of 1. And the same goes for 2 to the power 1. I would write 0 instead of 2. But after doing many past papers, I became aware that I always make careless mistakes with long exponent calculations. Therefore, on the exam, every time I saw an exponent question, I became mindful of my mistakes and would never make those careless mistakes again. But if I hadn't drilled these questions, I definitely would have made those careless mistakes when seeing exponent questions for the first time on the exam. So every time after completing a past paper, mark your paper and find out whether you made any careless mistakes or not. If you have, make sure to make a mental note and remember the questions that you've made mistakes in. That way, when you ever see a similar question again on the exam, you'll know not to make the same mistake again. Finally, double checking your responses. Now, double checking is not as effective as the prior 2 techniques that I just mentioned. So if you were to either write so slow that you do not have time to double check, or write so fast that you do have time to double check, I would always choose to write slow and not be able to double check, as by writing slow, you have already minimized your chances of making careless mistakes. And even if you made careless mistakes and have time double checking, oftentimes for equation calculations, not for essay writing, you will overlook those mistakes as you're really just doing the same thing over again. Now, for essay writing questions or multiple choice questions, it is always crucial to double check as you're reading through your responses to see if you made any grammatical errors or concept errors. So that's important. For essay writing, double check is important. For equations, it's not as important. Now, as for equation questions, if you do have the time to double check, this is how I would do it. Do not double check after every question, but instead double check after you've completed every question on the exam. Then grab another piece of paper and completely redo all the questions of the exam again. Then afterwards, compare your responses. This is the only way to double check, because if you're simply just reading, scanning, or skimming through your responses and not doing it again, your brain will not register these careless mistakes, as it is simply just scanning through the responses. Anyways guys, that's the end of today's video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because I'll be uploading many more study tips and IB guide videos. Now, if you guys are interested in one-on-one private tutoring for English paper 1 or paper 2, then contact me on Instagram and you can inquire more there. Now, the rate is 125 to 150 USD per hour. But if you want simple IB mentorship with course videos and my Econ, Geo, English, and CS notes, then simply join my program, IB45 Accelerator, and I can help you over there.